Sure. Well, I look at a very narrow segment of the financial market, which is basically cryptocurrency, blockchain, Web3, however you call it. I do believe that this technology is a game changer for sure. And I think we've proven over the last 15, 16 years that it's not going away. Binance is one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world.
It is the largest.
It is by far the largest. It's larger than the next 5 combined. But just some numbers, right? You have 300 million users. It's probably larger than any bank that I know. And its trading volume is higher than Shanghai Stock Exchange. It's higher than New York Stock Exchange last year. So but right now in the crypto space, there's really 2 proven industries, the exchanges and stable coins. Those are large businesses. I'm really excited about 3 new more. I think tokenization is a huge one. I'm talking with probably a dozen governments about tokenizing some of their assets, because this way the government can actually realize the financial gains first and use that to develop those industries, extractions, the trading markets, etc. Payments is something that we've tried, have not really conquered have not really started in crypto. We tried, but nobody really pays in crypto. But I think now we're seeing the convergence of traditional payment methods being behind the scenes being supported by crypto. So the spenders swipe a card, crypto gets deducted from their account. The merchants gets US dollars or euros or whatever they get. So now when we have those bridges, I think payments is going to become pretty big. The third one is what you guys all mentioned is AI. The native currency for AI agent is going to be crypto. They're not going to use bank cards. They're not going to swipe credit cards. Crypto blockchain is the most native technology interface for AI agents. So when AI goes big, today AI they're not really agents. They don't buy tickets for you. They don't pay for restaurants for you. But when they actually do, those payments will be in crypto.
For each other. Okay, CZ, what should we worry about, or maybe not place our money on right now?
Sure. I think my 3 panelists have been very smooth and politically correct. I'm going to give some more direct answers, which will probably offend quite a lot more people, including people in my own industry. I do agree with Stephen that I think, look, even if you asked me this question 10 years ago, I would probably say Bitcoin payments. And 10 years later, we're not quite there. So I'm still skeptical about payments. We're working on it. We as an industry, we're investing in many payment projects. But I think as in any innovation field, there's always a very high degree of failures. But the small number of successes will be exponential, right? I also echo with what Stephen said about Metaverse. Well, we saw NFTs was pretty hot for a while, but now they're kind of pretty quiet. Mm-hmm. I have a very high, strong feeling that memes are probably going to be similar. I could be wrong. I think a lot of crypto guys will hate me for saying this. Mm-hmm. But these are very high risk new areas where the value is highly speculative. Building use cases for those are hard. Some memes do stay, like Doge, been around for like 15 years, and they still have a couple $1 billion of market cap. So there are things that have culture value that can stay. But I think most memes probably will not last that long. And then I also want to add, to offend the other industries, I think brick-and-mortar banks will decrease significantly over the next 10 years. So
decrease.
People will have much less need to go to a physical bank. I think ING pioneered online banking, and that was like 25 years ago. So it takes a long time to replace the old industry. But now we have cryptocurrencies, we have blockchain. The need for going to a physical bank to do stuff, now we have eKYC, we have e-everything. So the need to go to a physical bank may decrease. I don't think banks will disappear. They serve a very important purpose, many important purposes. But all of these industries, even new ones, traditional ones, they all have risks. So we should just look at the space periodic, careful basis.
But you only told us what has failed for the last 10 years. You haven't told us what will fail 10 years from now.
Well, basically saying like, memes are high risk, physical banks are high risk. Yeah, I can go on, but then I'll offend more people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a couple of points to add to that. I think I can dissect that into a couple of different separate points. I think number one is if everything else stays equal, being faster and cheaper is always better. Yeah. Yeah. That itself does not create more risk. What's risk there is, it's just faster will make it appear faster to happen. But if banks are fractional reserves, So if the bank doesn't have enough money, just because people can withdraw money faster, that's just going to expose the problem faster. But making it slower doesn't solve that problem. It just means more consumers couldn't withdraw when they want to withdraw, so they're stuck. That doesn't solve any problems. So if everything else stays the same, technology that makes things cheaper, faster is always better. On the Silicon Valley Bank, when you describe the question, in the crypto industry, we have a different kind of rumors or feel to it. The bank may or may not be in trouble, but our impression is the bank is very crypto friendly. It may have been shut down by Operation Choke Point 2.0 back in 2023. I'll also give another example that happened to Binance. In December 2023, this is after the FTX went down, after Luna UST, after Silicon, this is before Silicon Valley Bank actually. In one day, there was maximum withdrawal of $7 billion equivalent of assets from Binance.com. No issues. In that week, there was a few days before that, it was up like a couple hundred million, a billion, and then 7 billion, and then a billion. In that week, total $14 billion worth of assets got withdrawn from the platform. No issues. In a bank, I don't know of any bank that can handle that. So when the term bank run, it's mainly because the design of banks are fractional reserves. When you have a fractional reserve system, then you have this liquidity issue. So that comes down to the systematic design of the system, not so much AI. So that's kind of my view. Yeah, the AI does have the problem of synchronized action potentially, but I think that's a very small. We're looking at a very small thing to blame the entire problem on. My view.
Okay, so I got any quick.
Yeah, I have a different perspective on this issue because we're sitting in a different industry. Yeah. It feels to me personally like the banking industry, the securities industry, the regulations are highly developed, highly mature, and they are highly similar across countries. I know there are differences. This is probably a novice person looking at a problem in a very simplistic way. Whereas for crypto regulations, it's different, very different in every country right now. To be honest, well, Binance has like, 22, 23 licenses all around the world, but the majority of countries don't have licensing regimes today in the world. And we also see US is progressing very quickly, but it's in progress, right? So the market structure, the Clarity Bill, the market structure bill, the Genius was passed last year. So like 6-7 months ago. So this is a in progress thing. We also see many other countries, UAE has adopted fairly forward regulations. Bahrain, Pakistan, Kenya, we're glad to be in the consultation process together with them so that they at least talk to industry players. I'm a personal advisor to some of these governments, even though I'm not a regulation expert, but I just tell them from a market player perspective. Also, in this process, there's some key differences in countries' policies, especially when it comes to capital controls. Many countries, when you take money out of the country, they have a limit. Above that limit, that becomes money laundering or basically illegal, however you call it. US doesn't have this issue. It doesn't have this control. Taxes are very different in every country. So this kind of affects financial regulations because, especially if you buy Bitcoin, the price goes up, do you pay tax or not on the unrealized gain or realized gain or whatever, right? So we think that obviously more clarity, more consistency will be much, much better. But I don't think a global regulator will work. It's possible at this moment. Different countries have different priorities, different agendas, different considerations. So a global regulator will be quite difficult. We would love to see it, especially if that global regulator can put in a positive regulatory framework that's relatively pro-innovation. And that will make the industry players' job a lot easier. But to be honest, logically, it should be like that, right? Because crypto is the same in every country. It doesn't change country to country. So there should be an optimum framework that we should be able to put in. So I'm actually spending a lot of my time trying to figure out what that is and how to work with different countries.